All right, y'all, we did it. We are now at step 5 of leaving a toxic environment. So, so glad you all took time to be with me on this journey and hoping that it was super duper helpful for you so far. And so, per usual, I'm just going to go through the steps. So, we talked about step 1, which was realization. We talked about step 2, which is agreeing with change. So with everything that you realize, everything you were able to recognize, you now, it's not just head knowledge for you. You are now in the mode where you're saying, okay, I have to do something different. So agreeing with that change. Number 3 was visualizing. So painting out your destination. If this is not your ideal situation, what is? Step 4 was the game plan, about the practical steps to get you from where you are at right now to the destination. And step 5 is simply implement, meaning just do it. We are now at a place where we're outside of the thinking and all of the brainstorming. Now we've got to get our body going with it. Now, the reason why I found it necessary to actually make a video for step 5, despite it just being simply to implement, is because with implementing, you're going to need to have some tools ready. So I want to make you battle ready. We talked about plans and all the other stuff, but now I want you to have your weapons for when you're going forward with this. So the thing is, whenever you are going to leave an environment where you're dealing with a toxic environment or toxic people, they're not going to just let you walk. There's going to be some resistance there. There's going to be a lot of why and what do you mean? Because you coming out is disrupting the flow. You are the cog that is now out of place, and they're just like, wait a minute, we need you in the mechanism. What are you doing? Okay. So I have notes here on the side just so I can make sure I get as much as I can on this point, because I don't want to miss anything, right? So you're going to leave. They're going to find out that you want to leave. And here are some of the things that I want to prepare you for, that are things that I saw personally and honestly are pretty common, that no matter who's talking to you, they probably have experienced this as well. So one of the biggest things that you'll face when you're about to decide, hey, I'm out of here, like I'm going to get going, is one, emotional manipulation. The other person or other people that have now found out that you want to go, you have now told them this, they're going to, with emotional manipulation, it'll look different in some way, shape, or form. But the most common one is the baby, I can change. I mentioned that a lot. The baby, I can change thing is, it's the talk or that little table, that table meeting that they want to have with you for the sake of for figuring out compromise, right? And here's why this is manipulative, is because they knew what they were doing the entire time. I want to destroy the myth that they did not know. They knew. You probably even told them before you got to this point where you said that, hey, I'm done. Most likely you did. They did not take heed. They did not understand. And now you're here. Some people might not know, but the people, but those people, I don't necessarily think that it fits in this particular context. There are some people who might have a moment of clarity of like, oh man, I was really bad to you. Let me figure it out. But in general, these folks know. They are well-educated people. They'll always tell you that they are, right? Have you ever dealt with that before, where they say that, oh, you see, this is why you should always listen to me, like I'm always right, like those people who want to be bossy, they will always try and say that they'll try to prop up their own wisdom all the time. So someone who does that, who says, "Oh, I'm so wise," and they know what they're doing, right? And they know what they're doing because even if there's been a moment where you have gotten reactive and even decided out of retaliation that you were going to give them a piece of that back, they weren't having it. So they know. So let's just break the myth off. I know that, maybe you might be empathetic like myself, and you might be trying to make excuses for them, trying to use their backstory to figure out, oh yeah, they didn't really mean it, and they're just doing it. No, these people know, baby, they know. They are grown folk, they know. So anyways, there's a moment in time where they want to have this moment of compromise. Oh, what do you need? All of a sudden, they're front and center to understand what it is that you want. And the thing is that you might actually see that they are beginning to change some things. And I remember that I experienced this myself, where I almost didn't leave when I saw that this person that I was dealing with actually was starting to do things a little bit different. I almost felt guilty. But when I stood firm and said, no, I think I'm going to go anyway. I think, and I said to myself, I think that it's a good thing that this person is now saying that they want to pursue their healing. They want to they're doing all these things. They're being nicer to me and whatever. All the stuff that I would have wanted for them to do years prior, I ended up coming to the realization of like, oh no, well, they can still pursue that growth apart from me. You know what I mean? Like, perhaps we could figure out if we'll still keep our manner of friendship or something, but I don't have to be present for them to make this change. And so when I said, I think I still want to move on ahead, very quickly, I came to find out that all of that was performative. It was all performative. It was a way to say, hey, like, I'm listening to you. I could change. I can do it. But it doesn't last long. So that's one of the things I encourage you to do. Be firm, because that is going to be the true indicator of if these people actually are wanting to change, or they're just doing just a little bit just to calm you down so that they can get you trapped in again. And then if you're when you're trapped in again, it's going to be harder for you to do these 5 steps again and get to the point of like, I'm out of here, right? So they will give you false hope once again, and you're going to have to redo this process. Don't fall for it. Don't get caught up in the cycle. These people know what they're doing, and they're just, it's a game. It's a game. Okay. So that whole temporary change game. And I also want you to be aware of language too. When someone says, I'm sorry, I learned this. Sorry for what? If it's a general apology, I'm not saying that they're not genuine, but it's just like, sorry for what? And if they're telling you right now, at this particular moment in time, that they can change, you'd be like, sit down and think about that. And I don't think I really realized this until like much later, once I already left certain places. But I was like, they said they could change. Like, change what? So then that means that, like, does that mean that they were aware that there was a problem the whole time and they just watched me suffer? Like, so I don't know. I was like, change what? How do you can change? How? What are you going to do? Why do you feel like you need to change? You know what I mean? So that was just like some inner dialogue that I had. Like, I was like, wait a minute. So, but anyways, if you stand firm, you will see people's true intentions, if they're actually genuinely trying to change, or if it's just, or they're going to do these little changes just to make you think that they heard you, but that it's really just, it's all just a game, and it's all a trap, right? Another thing that I got, it was kind of like, I remember trying to go out of one of my situations, and basically when I was going to move out, when it basically was just like I was getting all these messages, not like messages as in text, but like, as we were talking, these messages of like, you're not going to be like, how are you actually going to be able to do it? Like, these different things, that she said as a way to say that this is not going to be possible for you. Like it's going to be hard for you to do what you want to do next, to move on, like, get another apartment or do whatever it is you want to do. It's like, it was almost as if the way it translated in my mind was like this idea of like, you need me, you can't do this without me, sort of thing. So there was a lot of language being used as a way to deter me and make me think that it was not going to be possible unless I stayed where I was. So that could be a potential thing too, of them trying to make you feel like this is the only place where you're going to get whatever it is that you wanted from it. So, this if it's your partner, they might make you feel like, no other man or woman's going to love you. If it's wherever it might be, I feel like the biggest ones I can always talk about are things in terms of friendships and cults, because those are one of my major experiences, but there are other exits I've made. But you know what I mean? Like, if it's your church, again, the place that I came from, it almost makes you feel like this is the only place. This is the only place doing right. You're not going to get the same experience anywhere else, so you can feel that, even if that's not directly said. The way that a system works at that, it's kind of like it ingrains these ideas within you, right? So you might see that you are verbally told, outside of here you won't make it, or apart from me no one else is going to love you, or you're not going to you're not going to get the proper support system anywhere else. You know what I mean? So they'll tell you these different things, and you have to understand that it's all lies. So again, all these different things are basically subcategories of the emotional manipulation. Don't believe it. You can do this without them. You can. You'll have to find the new environments, right? The new environments, the new foundations that do work, but they're not the only and really sit down and think about it. This is why it's like the implementation stage is all about the battle of your mind and keeping firmness in your mind. Because really, like, I want you to do your best to be level-headed. And when you hear something like that, say, wait a minute. So out of 7 billion people on this earth, you're saying you are the only one. This is the only source. It just don't even make no sense. Like the math don't math. There is no way. So you just like, you know what I mean? So like really like be firm in it. Have that mental block where you really just, you know what I mean? Because everything's going to kind of work to make you question your reality, to make you invalidate things and make you feel like this, you must be here, and you really don't have to. The next one is, I called it the lash out. So depending on who you're dealing with, this person's going to lash out in some type of way, right? And I think that was one of the things that made me scared sometimes to leave, is that because I was dealing with different type of personalities. And again, because people don't really, when you want to leave, and this is person that keeps you bound, they, you might see them kind of get out of character, even if that person's like one of the more subtle, abusive type of people. And when I say abuse, I think we know this already, but I'm going to put this in there. It doesn't have to be, I'm not talking about physical abuse. I'm just talking about emotional, psychological, verbal, etc. The abuser. So even if they might not be super, what's the word? I guess overt, is that the word? Like, I don't know, but super out there with their reaction and how they normally express their emotions. you might end up seeing them get out of character. But a lot of these people, at least in my experience, have been a little bit more explosive. There's some that are not, and they're a little bit more covert and sneaky. But so the lash out might happen. The emotional, just dump and the projection and all these different things, and it takes a lot to not be moved, because again, during the lash out, you might hear some crazy things. They might really just downright insult you, say different things with their mouth to tear you down because they're not happy about what you're doing. And so, again, I don't want to scare you, but I do want to prepare you. And at the end of the day, I think you'll be able to know who it is that you're dealing with. So again, the way that I speak about things throughout these steps have more been on a spectrum, because I don't know your specifics, but firmness, okay? Firmness. So this is the lash out. And really, all of this stuff, the lash out and all this stuff, like I basically, in a word, be prepared for Hollywood. That's what I call emotionally this emotional manipulation thing that people do. I just say Hollywood, because let me tell you, I've seen it was really funny. There was one person I saw do this. And she went from being very sorrowful and crying like, oh my goodness, to then being angry and then sorrowful again. Like, it was just like, I was like, but the thing is that because over time, I've been practicing this about like not being phased, and I'm just like, well, I kind of gotta go. It was just like, once that person knew that they couldn't really, like, they were just throwing any emotion at me. And the thing is that usually that works. You know what I mean? So the other person usually has your number. They know what makes you tick. They've observed you over the time that you've been sitting around dealing with what they've been giving you. So they study you, and then so when you're about to leave, they kind of try to play on your emotions. But so I remember, like, it was so I was, man, I wish that somebody else was there. But it was like literally about like, oh really? Oh, you didn't say that, and you didn't. It was just like this sorrow, whatever. And then it was like, and then I don't know if was she crying? She attempted to cry. I don't know what was happening. It would just like, I said, man, perhaps Hollywood would love you. That was a great audition. You know what I mean? But I was like, I didn't have anything to do except like say, okay, and like awkwardly walk backward, because what do I do with that? So yes, stay firm. So you might see the lash out. And here's the part that if you're face to face with this person or the people, whatever it is, that whoever you're addressing these things with, and they haven't gotten to you, here's the next stage, right? Because the people that you're involved with, they don't just know you, they know your friends, they might even know some of your family. So what they might do, because they have lost you, they have lost their control and power over you, what's going to happen is that they're going to go to the people around you, and you're going to begin to find out about some rumors potentially. And the like it, or even if you don't hear outright the rumors that were being said, because this person or the people aren't going to be honest about what it is they actually did to lead you to this point, they're going to want to rally some allies. And so they're going to talk to the people who aren't there, or if the person who wasn't there just asks, oh hey, where's so and so, what happened? They're now going to they're gonna Hollywood again. They're gonna go Hollywood. They're gonna put up a whole storyboard in which they are the victim. And so you'll have some people who actually believe that, because maybe they weren't front and center for it, or maybe they're if you're dealing with an institution, they are just so co-signed to the institution that you, being the person who's now coming apart from it, they're going to see you as like not necessarily the enemy yet, but as they're going to see that, like, they're going to think that they're going to believe this story because they've co-signed the institution, or they've co-signed that person who is head of the institution. So whatever they said, they're going to take their word over yours, even if this person might know you like that. You know what I mean? They're just, for whatever reasons, and that's a whole nother video and or live to talk about the reasons why they would do what they would do. But I'm trying to stay focused because I know I've already hit 20 minutes. So you will have folks that will say, hey, what happened? I heard what happened. What are you doing? What do you mean? Da, da, da. And these are folks that will try to mediate, sort of. And so these are the people you also have to be aware of as well. Now, in their defense, they don't know what happened if they weren't there. But these people, unfortunately, are not helpful, even though they're trying to mediate, where they're in the middle, where they might be on your side and theirs. That still doesn't work. So you'll have to, it's up to you if you want to engage and have those conversations. I'm not going to say yay or nay. I know that there are certain times where I have conversations. A lot of the time I've opted not to, because I know what time it is, and it's just like, okay, like, so exercise wisdom when you have these conversations. But there will be people who heard their heard the fabricated version of this story, where you actually, unfortunately, are the antagonist. And so that's another thing where you have to not be so concerned about defending yourself, because that's emotional energy that you're pouring out to defend yourself on something that you know isn't true. You know what I mean? You know what the real truth is. So being able to save your energy. So defense against that, the different rumors, resist the urge to want to clear your name. Leave it. And this is one of the hardest things for me, because again, like I've mentioned in previous videos, I was somebody who wanted to be I wanted to be liked. You know what I mean? I became a people pleaser over time, because I wanted people to favor me. I liked the good reception. It was where I felt like I found my worth. And so if someone does not think that, if someone does not find something good to say about me, if I don't have the good reception, then I feel bad. And that's been something that, has really been with me since childhood, right? So I spoke about that. So I really had to, you know what I mean? And especially when I have receipts. That's one of the hardest things for me, to take the higher road and not even try to be like, no, well, look at this text and look at this email and like check out this video, like, you know what I mean? Like, because I be having receipts. But you have to choose the higher road and not expend your energy. Focus on getting out of here. You know what I mean? And then I would say, lastly, in terms of firmness, to wrap everything up. Like, so if you happen to experience any of these different things, the different emotional manipulation or gaslighting or invalidation tactics that they're doing, in a word, you need to have boundaries with this stuff. So you deciding not to have that conversation with someone who wasn't there, boundaries. You deciding to not give in when, the person that you said to that you're leaving, when he or she tries to prompt you, tries to get you to react and get out of character, boundaries. Just all of it. You know what I mean? Where you're going to, what you're going to do next, all the boundaries. Have boundaries with everything. It's going to be the lifesaver. It's going to be the big tool for you as you're going out. And again, this stuff is not easy. It can be very, very challenging. But I think that what this shows most of all, that when these things happen, with these different tactics to phase you out of what you're doing, or in a way to even punish you for what you're doing. When all this stuff happens, this is one of the biggest indicators that you had no business being there in the first place. If they're willing to do this to you, when you decide, hey, I'm going to make a decision to leave, thank you for your time, I'm out of here, you got your answer. That should solidify more than anything that this truly was a toxic environment. So I wanted to give that to you. I'm pretty sure there's more, but those are some of the core things that I notice as trends in my experience that I really wanted to give to you. And so we are at the end of the series. So I just want to thank you once again for looking at this. Please do share with people who might need it. I'm telling you, people who you don't even know would need it probably do need it. So just share this, spread it around like wildfire, because a lot of people are going through this. A lot of people are suffering in silence. And again, I want this information to get out however I can. So like, subscribe, share, reach out. I do know that I have some outstanding comments and messages. I will get to you, I promise. It's been a little bit of a day, so I was just trying to reorganize myself and make sure that this video was recorded and put in for you so that you can use it. Again, it does not stop here. There is a whole lot more even following exiting. So definitely it is important that you heal, and it is important that you thrive, you know what I mean? And so, basically resetting and getting yourself back on right foundation. And so I would like to invite you, now that you've come to the end of the series, to join my class. I have something that I call Uprise University. It is my freedom course, and it is designed to help anyone who is dealing with these toxic situations that just kept you stuck in life, to be able to gain your autonomy back. So we're going to talk about many of the principles that were laid out in terms of exiting, but we're going to also be talking about how to forgive and how to let go and how to make sure that we really shed off these things so that it does not travel in our new season. Because how many people know that even though you may change your environment, you still may very well get right back into the same cycle. It might be you left one relationship and then you date somebody else, and it's like dog, you're the same dude, you just got a different face. How are you the same man? You know what I mean? So it's like these situations can repeat itself, or you could end up being so bitter to the point that you now push away people that probably would have been good for you. You know what I mean? So how do you actually properly forgive? How do we, if there's hurt involved, because there's usually a big wound with these things. It's not easy to leave. So sometimes there's a wound. How do we really, really address that wound and heal so that we don't poison blessings, or that we're not, or that we don't end up getting back into the same thing? And then how do we actually go after the things that you actually want to go after? What are your dreams? What are the exploits you want to undertake that you weren't able to do previously? And so again, this course is amazing. I already know it. When I was designing it, I was so happy. I said, I love this, and I'm going to love seeing you there. So please do go to the link below. You'll find more information about what's going on. There's going to be different ways, not different ways to register, but two different types of registration to be able to do it async, or to also to do it within a class setting. So everything would be virtual. And so go on and see more details about that. I'm not going to put out too much, but get in this class. But even if I do not see you for class, this stuff right here is free $99. So again, go through it over and over again as much as you need to pass this information along. And yeah, I will definitely be doing some other different series as well. So definitely subscribe to this channel or to my email list as well. And yeah, I'm so glad we got through this. Yay! So I will see you next time. And yes, please keep in touch with me and take care.